Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is after you've created your gang sheet is go over to Flexi Print and open up your Flexi. So once your Flexi is open, you're going to want to go over to Job. Then you're going to want to go to where the file or TIFF file that you saved from Photoshop is, your gang sheet. So I'm going to use this test one. So this is one that I created from my Photoshop. So you kind of highlight it, then you add it. And now once it's added, um, you go down and it says holding. The status is holding. So you want to double click on it. So you double click and it will open up a new screen. Now on the one side of your screen, this is where it sort of shows you your preview. In this side. So there's your preview. Up here is your media size. Now we're going to have your preset already set in place, but so it'll already have these already defaulted. But this, if you have a 13-inch, that's your media size, is 13-inch. And this is your job size, which will always be at 12 inches in width. So just ensure that the media is at 13, which we will default the size, of course, to what your printer is. And then just check your job size to make sure that it's correct. And then once you do that, we can get into other settings as well. Like just make sure that your orientation is correct. So if it's sideways, you can just correct it by just turning the little man straight, and then it'll be orientated properly. So just make sure that it's up and down. And again, check your job size, make sure the width's correct, and the height as well. Down here is your total. So total width is 12, and your height, the height here is 30, 31. If you go up here, it's set default to 100. So you have 100 up to 100 inches. So if down here has more than 100 inches, you're going to have to change up here to whatever the inches are. So if it's at like 250, so let's say down there is 250 inches, then you would change the top to, of course, 250 inches in length. But if it's under 100, you can just leave it to its default at 100. Now, some of the other things you can do within here is kind of like changing color. You can go to a menu and change color. So in this screen here, if you ever need to adjust color, we can kind of go through that later and do some training on that. You can also check your spot channeling to make sure that you've spot channeled correctly in Photoshop so that your white gets applied. So just that tab there will make it so you can ensure that you're spot channeled. You can also region in here, so if you want to just take a certain part of your gang sheet, you don't want the whole thing, you can kind of drag it and drag it down and just take what you want from here. So this is where you kind of region it. You can also do this in FlexiPrint as well. You can change the region in the next step as well. So you just want to go make sure that, of course, your media size and your job sizes are correct. When you do that, hit send, the send button. Now this defaults to a location for FlexiPrint, so just leave it saved there for now. It's going to save the files always to where it's defaulted. If you want to change that in the future, you can. So just click save at this point. So now it's going to process So it'll rip and then it'll say printing, and then the status will be done after that. So when the status is done, that means that the file is created for your Flexi, for your Print XP, and then you'll be ready to print. So now the status is done. So just make sure it's in a done status before you go into your Print XP. Then of course open up your Print XP. Okay. So inside here there's some tabs at the top: settings, adjust, print, file. So just click on the file. Now in here, if you already have XP open and you create one, you might have to refresh the directory. Just right click and refresh. Make sure the name is correct. So you're looking for the one you just did. So just look for the name of the file in here. And then when you find that file name, you're just going to click on it. So again, I'm just ensuring that I got the right file name there. I'm going to go up to where the file is that I created. I created quite a few the same here. Okay, I think it's this one here. So once you get your correct file, then what you're going to want to do is just double click on it. So just find that file, then double click on it, and it will bring you to your print tab. So now it brings you to your print tab. These are your print jobs that you have currently going, and then when you finish, there's a job history as well. So after you do that, you can you're ready to print pretty much. You can double click on it, and this is where you can check your ink statistics to get the cost, your cost of what this print's going to cost you, as well as making sure here, if it doesn't show white ink, if it shows 0 white ink, that means that it wasn't spot channeled. But of course we checked that prior in Flexi. It's not showing anything here now because I'm not connected, but this is where it will show you the ink statistics and your total cost of what this is going to cost you in ink and supplies right there. So total cost in ink. So I'm going to cancel that out. You can also region from here. So if you just want to take a certain part, again, a certain part of your gang sheet, just kind of pick your desired spot, let go of it, and then just click OK. Just pick wherever. You can go up, down, then just click OK when you have your desired spots. And then now you're ready to print, this up here will be highlighted, of course. I'm not connected, and you'll be ready to print.